I got to episode 3 and I got so angry at this man who robbed me and my parents, my sweet, kind, loving parents, of so much that I literally stood up and started swearing at the TV. I was.
Hi, Shan. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Tomas. I appreciate it so much.
The first question I think is like, I need to ask this question. How did it make you feel to work with your own life, story as the main focus of a narrative, a so complex narrative?
I had wanted to tell my story for a long time in this manner because I felt like if people could understand how common my story actually is, even though it's a fantastic story where there's so many twists and turns, it's actually almost always somebody that the child, the tween, the teenager knows, and they befriend the entire family. They are looking to make friends with everybody so that the parents don't know. They already trust the person. And so for me to see the story and to be a part of in the writer's room, to be a part of producing it so that it really did match my true full story in context was amazing for me, actually, because I've done so much work on my own healing and I want to help others see what you don't see, because it's somebody that you know, that you trust, that you already love. So for me, it was wonderful because I feel that people watching this series will be able to maybe recognize something that they otherwise would not recognize, and to ask a question of themselves. Is this person at my church, in my family, in my neighborhood, at my school? Is something else going on because they're so friendly, they're so nice to my child and to me, and maybe it's hiding the truth, and the truth is they are preparing to harm your child because it's very common.
Oh my, it's so crazy to hear you talk about it. I have seen the show, and it's amazing how it makes you feel uncomfortable, how you empathize with, of course, not with him, right? But how you empathize with the rest of the characters. And I always wondered how it made you feel watching the episodes, like, because it's your life story. It's a lot of part of them are sad, but it's also super interesting.
Right. And it did make me feel all kinds of emotions when I first saw I had seen the first episode several times because that was part of the promotion with various media, trying to get the launch of the story to come out. So I had seen the first episode from start to finish several times, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a great series. It should win every award. It's so amazing. But when I sat down with friends and my family and actually watched it just like the rest of the United States was watching, and I got to episode 3 and I got so angry at this man who robbed me and my parents, my sweet, kind, loving parents, of so much that I literally stood up and started swearing at the TV. I was just so mad at a person that could look so nice and so kind and so religious and so all of these things, and he was the total opposite. But he was such a master manipulator, and he was so slow and calculating, and I just got so angry. And it was really a wonderful release for me, especially because I was with close friends and family when I was watching those first 3 episodes, because they all came out at the same time, and then the rest of the show. And so it really prepared me kind of for knowing that I still have a lot of, feelings about this, but that I was in a position of being a mentor a symbol of hope, that my story would help people know that there's hope, because I had a fire inside of me that kind of came bursting out of my nostrils and my ears. I was like, ah! Yeah, it was emotional. And there were times when I was very sad for little Jan, and very sad for my mother and my father and my sisters, and just for all of us, where I cried because I felt so bad for missing out on those years from that age, that very tender age. I was 9 years old when he and his family moved into our neighborhood. And for 3 years, they were our best friends. I was sad that that he wasn't really our best friend. I was sad that I missed out on a childhood, a natural development from age 12 to 16. I got sad, but I also know who I am today. And I am grateful for the wonderful family and the support I had from my parents in my own healing, and now in the ability for us to tell the whole truth in a story that is completely true, and people will be able to see, oh, this is how these master manipulators, this is how they groom entire families, entire systems, the entire church community, the entire community at large. Everybody liked him. Nobody saw it. And I know I wasn't the first one. I know of 2 girls before me, and I know of 5 girls after me. And now I'm just on a mission to make sure that this is not how it goes anymore. That this kind of a predator who's so tricky and so charismatic doesn't get away with it, but goes, to prison. I'm very, very much certain that almost all pedophiles who are actively engaged in grooming and preparing and then taking children, or even within the home, they don't stop with one victim. There are many that follow. So I'm going to put as much into stopping that as possible.
And I'm super grateful for you having the courage to tell this story and in this way, because I think that the thing with stories and narratives is the things that makes people empathize with anything, right? If I can tell you a good story and you can listen to it, and I can show you this and then show you that and show you how it makes me feel, how my parents, whatever, it's really easy to empathize. And it's also super easy to empathize because it has such an amazing actors. It's incredible. Everyone, it's great. But I want to ask you how it made you feel, and how was it to see little Jan on screen?
Oh, it was amazing. In fact, I just barely sent the younger Jan, Hendricks is her name. I just sent her a congratulations because she won Best Supporting Young Actress in a Drama Series.
Nice.
And it was our series for a friend of the family. And she was so great as that tender little girl who loves this man like her uncle, her favorite uncle, and is so scared with all of the voices that she's hearing and what she's supposed to do, and doesn't even understand what that means, doesn't know at all that that's going to mean that this grown man is going to rape her. She has no idea what's going to happen, and just some of those early scenes with her are so poignant and so good. And last night I sent her and her mom a text and was like, oh my gosh, you're nominated, and oh my gosh, you won. This is so exciting for a friend of the family, her portrayal as young me. And it really was like looking at myself. And then of course, McKenna Grace, who played the little teenage Jan, she's also a brilliant actress and so good, because there's so much confusion in a young person who is being brainwashed, manipulated in their mind.
Literally.
Jan, young me, really did start to believe that I had to do this mission. I had to save this planet, and I had to love him, and that it wasn't just kind of an uncle kind of love, that I had to find a way to love him like a man and a woman. And yet I was still prepubescent. I didn't hit puberty till I was 17, and it was all over. I was just a little girl trying to act like I was supposed to. And you also do all of that just to survive the abuse, your mind and all the things, just in order for you to survive what's happening to your little body. So I loved both of those young Jans. I love them both. I've talked to McKenna Grace many times since we filmed, and I really think they both wanted so badly to do it right, to make it real, and they did. It was so realistic, and it was so much like me, and the confusion and the trying to get through it and to do the mission, you know? And just really, they were incredible to watch and to be with. And they are incredible young women and young actresses, both of them.
They are. This is my last short question, because this is all the time we have.
Darn.
I think that I think that what gives hopes to anyone who sees this series is looking at you now. You are awesome. You are full of light. It's super nice talking to you. I'm super grateful for this opportunity. And if what would you like to be like the message that stick around with, especially young people watching this, or I don't know if it's for young people, but what would you wish that the message that stick around with this series is?
So yes, it's both for young women and young men. The statistics are terrible. It's about 1 in 3 young ladies who are abused, raped, molested. I mean, it's a really high number around the globe. And that for young men, it's about 1 in 5 that are, sexually assaulted before the age of 18. It's a very high number, much greater than cancer or the pandemic or anything else. And I want the message to be hope, that you can heal, but you have to do the work of that. It doesn't come like, oh, it's over now and I'm okay. That's not true. You have to tell. You can't keep your secret, because it just makes it more, it festers. It's like cancer. If you just ignored cancer, what would happen? You have to get the treatments. You have to heal. And when you do that, you will become like a superpower. You are a person who knows what to look for. You can help others as well as yourself and your future family. I also would tell parents, you need to know that you must believe your children, your teenager. You believe them. When a child is not believed, it's the number one predictor that they will be abused and harmed again later in life. They will get into a bad marriage. They will be abused or raped again. So when you don't believe and you try to shush, don't talk about this, that's the worst thing you can do. So those 2 things are my message. Believe those that try to tell you, and then get them the help that they need. There's many therapists to talk to, EMDR, TMS, many things that we can do now that we know actually help people heal. Because if we don't help people heal, then the drugs, the alcohol, the cutting, the anorexia, the bulimia, all of the other things, promiscuity, failed marriages, bad marriages, terrible things that happen as a result of not taking care of this kind of harm that happens to our young people and to those in their early 20s, because the brain is still developing. So those are my main messages. There's hope. You can heal, but you have to do the work, and believe those who are trying to tell you, and just listen. Don't go crazy. I'm going to kill this person. Don't do any of that, because that young person doesn't know the difference between those emotions, and then they won't talk anymore. That's the worst thing that can happen. Please believe them, and then find the help for helping them heal, so that they can live a full life that isn't full of all of the other things that will happen if they stuff that down inside. That would be my hope.
Jan, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for this.
Oh, you're so welcome, Tomas.
No, please.
I especially hope that someday we can talk again further.
Oh, it would be nice. Yeah.
Anytime.
So cool. It would be so cool.
Contact me. I want to come and go all over Latin America and do speaking and use my little bit of Spanish. I don't speak Portuguese, but I can understand it pretty well.
It's
So-
really similar. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Will do.
Thank
and
you.
I hope
Muchas
you have a
gracias
great
de
day.
mi corazón. Es
Muchas gracias a
muy
vos.
lleno.
Muy bueno.
Gracias.